Okay, so I am here in content formats, still learning Hugo. Both HTML and Markdown are supported content formats. Okay. You can put any file into your content directories, but Hugo uses the markup front matter value if set or the file extension. Markup identifiers in the table below. Markup identifiers, where? Oh, right there. Markdown, gold mark. Note that you can set the default handler of MD and Markdown to something else. Configure markup. Okay. Default Markdown handle. Gold mark. Hugo uses gold mark to render Markdown to HTML. Markup field in front matter. Can I? Oh, Hugo Toml, right? So it's the configuration file. Shortcodes. Shortcodes are simple snippets inside your content files calling built-in or custom templates. Let's see. Hugo loves Markdown because of its simple content format, but there are times when Markdown falls short. Often content authors are forced to add raw HTML for iframe, like YouTube videos and whatnot. Okay, so there are shortcodes. There is, oh, this is from Giraffe Academy. So I'm gonna watch this and then come back. Okay, I have watched the video and had ChatGPT summarize it. Basically, shortcodes simplify the insertion of custom HTML to Markdown files. The example that Mike here gives is adding YouTube video to Markdown file. Normally, YouTube videos come with iframe HTML code. Instead of using that, you just use, YouTube and then the ID of the video. Is there a thing here? Example, figure input. Okay, so figure is an extension of the image syntax in Markdown, which does not provide a shorthand for the more semantic HTML5 figure element, but you can create a shortcode for it. Yes, like shortcode opening curly braces, closing curly braces, and inside you get, let's say you have this, right? Get a figure, source of the figure, and then title. And your shortcode can change it into this HTML. The shortcode turns it into this image and then caption of the image. Gist is another shortcode, I guess. Display GitHub gist. What is gist? The gist of it. It is in sharing content. Public and secret. Public gist. You're ready to share your ideas with the world. Secret gist, we're not. Gist. What is a gist? I don't even know what that is. GitHub gist. Okay. Gist user something. This will display all files in the gist alphabetically by file name. List HTML hosted with love by GitHub. Okay, so this is something to do with GitHub. To display highlighted code sample. Highlight Go HTML template. So this is the, I guess, template for the code. Range pages. So looping through pages, I think. H2, your link. Lots of H2 links, I guess. What is rendered is range pages stuff. Where's the highlight? I don't see the highlight here. This is the exact same thing as this. So how does that work? I guess highlight is an HTML5 tag or something. Instagram shortcode uses Facebook's embed read feature, the Facebook developer documentation, blah, blah, blah. This permission requires successful completion of the app review. This permission or feature is only available with business verification. You must obtain access token to use the Instagram shortcode. If your site configuration is private, go to Hugo Toml, add this access token. If your site configuration is not private, set the access token with an environmental variable. Okay. Where do you set this stuff? You're using a client. Okay, without autoplay true. So for YouTube, use this. Just open shortcode, close shortcode here, and in between you just type YouTube and the video ID. That's it. Furthermore, you can automatically start playback of the embedded video by setting the autoplay parameter to true. So YouTube ID something and autoplay something. You can't mix named and unnamed parameters, so you'll need to assign the yet unnamed video ID to the parameter ID. Okay. It's best to provide a title for your YouTube video, accessibility reasons. Okay, sure. You can do this using the shortcode by providing a title parameter. If no title is provided, the default of YouTube video will be used. Okay, title. Sure. Using the preceding YouTube example, the following HTML will be added to your rendered site's makeup. So a div first, with some padding, and an iframe. From YouTube, you just get the iframe code. There is no div. So this div is added by Hugo, I think. And that's the example display. Privacy, create custom shortcodes. I think we'll get to that later. Okay, before shortcodes, we were going with content formats. Markdown converted to HTML, shortcodes processed, layout applied. Okay. Put any file in your content directories, but Hugo uses the markup font matter value to determine if the markup needs to be processed. Content formats. Goldmark is the processor for Markdown. Handler of MD, something else, computer markup. Emacs org mode is for org markup. ASCII doc for ASCII doc extension, ADOC, AD. ASCII doctor installed. Okay. RST needs RST installed. I have no idea what most of these things are. Restructured text. Do they have latex? I don't think they have native latex support. Pandoc. Pandoc installed. HTML, of course. The markup identifier is fetched from either the markup variable in the font matter or from the file extension. For markup related configurations, see configure markup. Yeah, I'm just gonna use the MD here, Markdown format. I don't think I'm gonna use any of these. Maybe HTML. Some of the formats in the table above need external helpers installed on your PC. For example, for ASCII doc files, Hugo will try to call the ASCII doctor command on the command line. This means that you will have to install the associated tool on your machine and set the environmental variable, probably. ASCII doctor no header footer. That's the default argument it's passing. RST pandoc. I don't care about these. Learn Markdown. Markdown syntax is simple. Following our external resources. Okay. Daring Fireball. What is that? His name? Her name? John Gruber? Nope. It's the website's name. Okay. Markdown is a text to HTML conversion tool for web writers. Markdown allows you to write using an easy to read, easy to write plain text format. Thus, Markdown is two things: a plain text formatting syntax and a software tool written in Perl that converts the plain text formatting to HTML. And no. Really? We're using Goldmark, so that was then, probably. Don't know what Goldmark is written in, though. Don't want to know. The overriding design. Okay, thus Markdown. See syntax, page for details. So let's see the syntax. I don't think we need to know all of this stuff. Markdown PL. We don't need Perl. Basics. Paragraphs. First level header. Second level header. Oh, H1 and H2. These are different for us. We're not doing that anymore. So that's not good. No good. No good. Interactive. Let's get started. Italics and bold. Formatted red text. Italic, you can surround words with an underscore. This word will become italic. Make the word not italic. Okay. Let's do that. Not that hard. Yeah, cool. Do I skip? Oh. Awesome, great job. Similar to make phrases bold, you can surround them with two asterisks. Will bold. I will complete these lessons. Of course, you can use both italics and bold in the same line. You can also span them across multiple words. In the box, we'll make the words, of course, italic and the words a little moxie bold. Okay. A little moxie. All right, italic. Of course, she whispered. Little moxie. And that's bold. For the final exercise, we're going to make some words bold and italic. In general, it doesn't matter which order you place the asterisks or underscores. In the box below, make the words, this is unbelievable, both bold and italic. Place the asterisks on the outside just to make them more legible. Okay. This is unbelievable. Let's do that. You're thinking to yourself, this is unbelievable. You'd probably be right. On to the next lesson. All right, headers. You preface the phrase with a hash mark. You place the same number of hash marks as the size of the header. Header 1, numero uno. Okay. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and no, don't do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are important tags for search engine optimization as well. So you gotta use them on your site if you're doing Hugo. It's up to you to decide when it's appropriate to use which header. In general, headers 1 and 6 should be used sparingly. Well, not really. You'll always have a header 1 per page and multiple header 2s, maybe some header 3s under some header 2s. Header 4, 5, and 6 are usually not used very often on the internet in 2023, at least. It's up to you to decide when it's appropriate to use which header. In general, headers 1 and 6 should be used sparingly. You can also mix and match inline styles within headers, such as italicizing them. Make the first line a heading level 4 and italicize the name of the book. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Italicize the name. That's the name. Okay. The entire thing. Here we go. Oh no. That's not it. In general, headers 1 in the box will make the first line a heading level 4, italicize the name of the book. Okay, that's already italicized, 100 years. Oh, okay, so I need to do this. 100 years of solitude. Here we go. Next lesson. We'll now learn how to make links to other websites. There are two different link types. Both of them render the exact same way. Inline link. To create an inline link, you wrap the link text in brackets, and then you wrap the link in parentheses, like that. Hyperlink to GitHub with the link text. Okay, in the box below, make a link to google.com with link text that says search for it. All right, let's do it and search for it. There we go. You can add emphasis to link text if you like. Make the phrase really, really bold and have the entire sentence linked to really, really bold. Okay, let's do that first. Have the entire sentence linked to Daily Kitten Call. Okay, entire text with the dot as well. You're really, really going to want to see this. Bold phrase anchored within the link. Okay. Although it might make for an awkward experience, you can make links within headings too. For this next tutorial, make the text a heading 4 and turn the phrase the BBC into a link. Heading 4, 2, 3, 4. The BBC, BBC.com news. Okay, BBC.com. Let's do it. And that's the link. And this is the link text. That's all there is to writing inline links. The other link type is called a reference link. As the name implies, the link is actually a reference to another place in the document. Here's an example. Here's a link to something else, another place. Yet another link to another link. The first link, another place. Another place, another link. Okay. References above are the second set of brackets. At the bottom of a Markdown document, these brackets are defined as proper links to outside websites. The advantage of the reference link style is that multiple links to the same place only need to be updated once. For example, if we decide to make all of the another place links go somewhere else, we only have to change a single reference link. Reference links don't appear in the rendered Markdown. You define them by providing the where. Why not? Come on. You define them by providing the same tag name wrapped in brackets followed by a colon followed by the link. In the box below, we started writing out tag a fun place. Okay. A fun place. And then another fun place. Zombo.com. Okay, at the bottom, we do zombo.com. All right. Make the second link out to stumble upon. And get that. Another fun place. Right. Now you know. All right. If you know how to create links in Markdown, you can create images too. Syntax is nearly the same. Images also have two styles, just like links, and both of them render the exact same way. The difference between links and images is that images are prefaced with an exclamation point. The first image style is called an inline image link. To create an inline image link, enter an exclamation point, wrap the alt text in brackets, and then wrap the link in parentheses. Alt text is a phrase or sentence that describes the image for the visually impaired. Okay. For example, to create an inline image link to that, copy, with an alt text that says Benjamin Bannekat, you'd write this in Markdown. Okay. In the box below, turn the link to an image and fill out. Turn the link to an image. Okay, so this is a link. Need to turn it to an image. Need to add an exclamation mark. And fill out the alt text bracket to say pretty tiger. Okay, let's do that. Pretty tiger. There we go. Wonderful. Although you don't need to add alt text, it will make your content accessible to your audience, including people who are visually impaired, use screen readers, or do not have high-speed internet connections. For a reference image, you'll follow the same pattern as a reference link. You'll precede the markdown with an exclamation point, then provide 2 brackets for the alt text and then 2 more for the image tag. Alt text and the image tag, okay. At the bottom of your markdown page, you'll define an image for the tag like this. Nice. Let's do that. We start placing some reference images. You'll need to complete them just like the last lesson. Call the first reference tag black. Make it link to this. Okay, black. And then make that link to that. Of course, these are images. Yeah. Black is already linking. And I need to link orange. Link to the other PNG. Okay, ta-da. We learned all there is to adding images in Markdown. Okay, so these are just images, but how do you make image links? Now, let's see if they cover that. No. If you need to call special attention to a quote from another source, or design a pull quote for a magazine article, then Markdown's block quote syntax will be useful. Okay, so that's a block quote. This is the block quote. This looks like. Preface aligned with the greater than carré. For example, that caret. Or how do you pronounce this? Caret. English. Pronunciation.
Carrot.
Carrot, really? Like the vegetable.
Carrot.
Carrot. Okay, sure. In a few moments, he was barefoot. Blah, blah, blah. Turn the block quotation into a block quote. Okay. There we go. Marvelous. You can also place a caret character on each line of the quote. This is particularly useful if your quote spans multiple paragraphs. Okay. Notice that even blank lines must contain the caret character. And make the entire quotation block by doing that. Okay. More carets. Tremendous. They're going to run out of these adjectives. Block quotes can contain other markdown elements such as italics, images, or links. In the box below, make the French text italic, not including the exclamation point. Also turn the entire quote into a block quote. French text. The full French italic. Vive l'Irlande. So this italic. Okay. Entire quote into a block quote. I think this is only one line. There we go. Ta-da. Lists. This tutorial is about creating lists in Markdown. There are 2 types of lists in the known universe. Unordered and ordered. That's a fancy way of saying that there are lists with bullet points and lists with numbers. Or, letters. So ordered or unordered. To create an unordered list, you'll want to preface each item with an asterisk. Okay, that's good. Box below, turn the words separated by a comma into list. She's tomatoes, fleur, she's tomatoes. Like this. Alright, that's how you write an unordered list. Now it takes, okay, ordered ones. You do this, 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy, right? Yeah, sure. One. Got the cheese, slice the tomatoes, rub the tomatoes and flour. Fantastic. You can choose to add italics, bold, or links within lists you might expect. And let names into italics. I'm not going to pronounce these. Magnificent. Occasionally, you might find the need to make a list with more depth, nest. In that case, you just add a space. One space more than the preceding item. Nice. Calculus. In the box, we'll turn the characteristics into sub-bullets. A professor has no hair. A professor has no hair, often wears green. Castafiore, an opera singer. Okay, so these are the characteristics. Has white hair, is probably mentally unwell. Okay. Stupendous. Well, you could continue to indent and add. Good idea, stop. Your text becomes a mess. Of course, you can use CSS to stylize these, stylize everything in your document. There is one more trick to list and indentation that we'll explore, and that deals with the case of paragraphs. Okay, so this turned into a markdown tutorial, basically. Half an hour in. Crack 3 eggs over a bowl. Suppose you want to create a bullet list that requires some additional context, but not another list. For example, it might look like this. Okay. Now you're going to want to crack the eggs in such a way that you don't make a mess. Basically, something, something. Okay, so to create this sort of text, your paragraph must start on a line all by itself underneath the bullet point. It must be indented by at least one space. For example, the list above looks like this in Markdown. You have your list item and then one space and your line. But there is also a line here, right? So list item, one blank line, one space, and then whatever you want to write, another blank line, and so on. Notice that the first two items have a single space. This looks a bit odd, so you might want to indent properly to match the characters up, like items 3 and 4. Okay. I don't really get it. This looks a bit... in these paragraphs, you can include all sorts of other markdown elements, like block quotes, even other lists. In the box below, convert the bullet points into their own paragraphs. Okay. There we go. Is that it? No. You need another... No. Like that. So they need to be... at least one line apart, like this. These lines are important. Line breaks. Or empty lines, let's say. Now I know. Okay, so almost at an end here. Markdown has several ways of formatting paragraphs. Let's take a few lines of poetry. Suppose you want to write text that looks like this. Do I contradict myself? Very well, then I contradict myself. I am large. I contain multitudes. Now you might think that simply typing each verse on its own line would be enough to solve the problem. Unfortunately, you'd be wrong. This markdown would render simply a single straight line. Do I contradict myself? Blah, blah, blah. If you forcefully insert a new line, you end up breaking the togetherness. This is what's known as a hard break. What our poetry asks for is a soft break. You can accomplish this by inserting 2 spaces after each new line. Oh, so 2 spaces after the lines. Oh, interesting. Try this technique out. I've never seen this before. 2 spaces, 2 spaces, 2 spaces, and that's it. Now they're just 1 line apart, different from what we had before. Aside from formatting poetry, one of the common uses for these soft breaks is in formatting paragraphs in lists. Recall in the previous lesson that we inserted a new line for multiple paragraphs within a list. In the box below, instead of using hard breaks, tighten the subparagraphs with soft breaks. Okay. Let's do this. Subparagraphs. I don't know if this is what they want. Probably not. So let's go back. And maybe this. Is this what you want? Tighten the subparagraphs with soft breaks. That's it. I mean, what else? Okay, I think I got it. So, like this, you leave a blank line here. And voila. Congratulations, I've completed all the lessons. Okay. Only just begun. Extended implementations of Markdown. And so on. I'm not sure if Hugo is using an extended implementation. Render hooks, shortcodes. Is there a Markdown section here? Multilingual template functions. No, I guess not. It just says Markdown, but gold mark. Maybe search for this. Not jewelry. Markdown. Markdown parser. Wait, Markdown reference. There we go. Hugo has its own Markdown reference. Time breaks, bold, blah, 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 everything. There's no highlight, subscript, or superscript. Superscript. Get the book. Well, don't really have $5 for the book. Emoji, task list, stripes through everything. Headings. Okay, so you can look at this Markdown guide as well for Hugo and go through this. You don't do this. Try to put a blank line before heading and after heading. Do this. Don't do this. Okay, nice. I like this documentation as well. Maybe I'll go through this in some other episode of this video series. For now, I'm satisfied with what we have. External helpers, ASCII Doctor, learn Markdown. Okay, so that's it. Let's have a look at diagrams. Use fence code blocks and Markdown render hooks to display diagrams. New in version 0.93. A new thing. Ah, look at that. Actually do this. The diagram. Interesting. 70,000 stars for Hugo. Goat diagrams. I've never used these. I don't think I will because I can use normal graphic software to actually draw diagrams. I don't think this will be easier to do for me, at least. Mermaid diagrams. What is that? Mermaid, Alice, Bob. Ooh. ASCII diagram examples. Look at that. These are pretty complex diagrams. And there's a complex version. Wow. Process diagrams, file tree. Sequence diagrams, flow charts. Wow. Nice. I'm not going to use these right now. Yes. Goat. I think you just put this in your markdown file like this. These are not single quotes. These are, what are they called? Backtick. Brave accent. All right, let's go on to front matter. Hugo allows you to add front matter in YAML, TOML, or JSON to your content files. Front matter allows you to keep metadata attached to an instance of a content type and is one of the many features that gives Hugo its strength. I'd advise you to watch this video here from Giraffe Academy, Mike, and I'll watch it now and take some notes. Okay, so this is what ChatGPT gave me as a summary of the transcript of this video. Front matter in Hugo is metadata for content files. It's defined using key-value pairs in formats like YAML, TOML, or JSON. Hugo templates and themes use front matter to display content information. You can set, so it's data about the content, right? You can set values like title, date, custom variables, author, for instance, in front matter. Changing front matter values automatically updates how content is displayed on the website. Front matter is a powerful tool for organizing, providing information about content files. You can create custom front matter variables to suit your needs. Okay. So by default, I think YAML is used. Not TOML, right? It's YAML. If I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. Yeah, so this is the front matter for a post, for instance. And YAML is default. Let's see. You put the front matter between these hyphens. So 3 hyphens here and 3 hyphens at the end. And in between these hyphens, you have your metadata. Can I increase this font size, appearance, and zoom in? Control numpad add. Okay, so I will zoom in. Okay, and that's YAML, not TOML. TOML uses equal signs and so on. Front matter variables, predefined. There are few predefined variables that Hugo is aware of. See page variables for how to call many of these predefined variables in your templates. Page variables. So later on, we're making an effort to unify our terminology, use these terms consistently. But we have inconsistently referred to the items on this page as functions, parameters, variables, and methods. They're not functions, parameters, or variables, they are methods. Okay. This page will remain in place as readers become familiar. Okay, sure. Use any of these methods in your templates. Aliases, alt translations, ancestors. Okay, interesting. Turns the date of the given page. Nice. Fire date. File. First section. fuzzy word count. Here's multiple of 100. Interesting. Wonder if they use a heuristic here. Get the word count. Not an exact, faster algorithm. We have the Boolean methods. Okay. Aliases. An array of one or more aliases, old published paths of renamed content. Okay, that's what an alias is. For example, old published paths of renamed content. That will be created in the output directory structure. See aliases for details. Nope. Audio. An array of paths to audio files related to the pages used by the Open Graph internal template to populate Fuji audio. I have no idea what that means. Cascade is a map of front matter keys whose values are passed down to the page's descendants unless overwritten by self or a closer ancestor's cascade. See front matter cascade. Okay, I understand what this means. So let's say you have a parent page and some subpages, which are called descendants here. And you can set something, key value pair in your front matter, and that will be inherited by any descendants unless the descendants themselves redeclare the key, or like a descendant's descendant. It's a 3-level thing, hierarchy. The mid descendant may also redeclare it, and its child will inherit the mid pages, mid descendants key value pair. Date, the date time, I think that's what it is. Anyway, the date time assigned to this page is usually fetched from the date field in front matter, but this behavior is configurable. So right there, when you are creating new content, Hugo adds this automatically. So Hugo new content, there was a command there that you used to do that. In the quick start, getting started, right there, quick start. Go server, okay, new site, init, here, new content, post my first post MB. When you run this command on your command line interface, then this first post is created with a default front matter, which can be configured in, I believe, archetypes in here, default, right there. I think so anyway. So this date gets the current date and puts it in here when you create new content using the CLI, the command line interface. You can change the behavior of that, of course, using these archetypes. Okay, let's go back to front matter. Description for the content. I wonder if this becomes the meta description of your page for SEO purposes. Draft, if it's true, then the page is not published. And if it's false, the page is published. And you can do build drafts while running the Hugo command to build the drafts to set them to false. Expiry date, the date time at which the content should no longer be published by Hugo. Expired content will not be rendered unless the build expired flag is passed. Headless. If true, sets a leaf bundle to be headless. What is headless? Headless bundle is a bundle that is configured to not get published anywhere. It will have no permalink, no rendered HTML in public. It will not be a part of site regular pages, but you can get it by site get page. We're assuming, I don't know why you would need this, but in case you need it, it's there. Images. An array of paths to images related to the page used by internal templates, such as internal Twitter cards HTML. Okay. Is whatever language. If true, Hugo will explicitly treat the content as a CJK language. What is that? CJK language. Chinese, Japanese, and Korean. Okay, I got you. Asian, I guess, or Far East languages. Keywords, the meta keywords for content. And this is also for SEO purposes, I assume. Search engine optimization. Layout. The layout Hugo should select from the lookup order when rendering the content. If a type is not specified in the front matter, Hugo will look for the layout of the same name in the layout directory that corresponds with a contents section. The content types. Where's content types? Did we... Content management? Content types is further down the list. I'm not going to look at it now. Last mod, the date time at which the content was last modified. This may be useful. Link title. Used for creating links to content. If set, Hugo defaults to using the link title before the title. Creating links to the content. If set, or the title. Okay. I don't understand what this means. Markup. Experimental. Specify RST for restructured text. Requires RST to HTML or MD. Default for Markdown. It's the markup language that you're using. I am going to be using Markdown. Outputs allows you to specify output format specific to the content. See output formats. Is it later down the list? Output? No. Started? Nope. Outputs. Methods. No. There is no output anything here. So maybe have a click. Output formats. What is that? You can output content in multiple formats, including calendar events, ebook formats, Google AMP, JSON search indexes, or any custom text format. Media types. MIME type is a two-part identifier for file formats. This is the full set of built-in media types in Hugo. There's a lot of them. You get TypeScript, SAS, SCSS, for video MP4, MPEG, WebM. These are pretty popular choices. CSS, CSV for comma separated values. You're using that. WebP is important. Optimized images. Okay, you can do XML, WASM, WebAssembly if you're interested in that. PDF, which is awesome. All right. Do we have docx, XML, or XLSX, or Excel? Yes, not. And you got JSON. Web manifest. Never used these. Okay, nice. Resources used for configuring page bundle resources. Page resources, we've looked at this before. Okay, so what are these? What are we looking at? Front matter variables. So these are like the keys that you can set in the front matter. So here, like you can say resources and then something. Probably a list like this. And inside you just list the resources. Something like that is what I'm imagining. Series slug. Slug might be important. Overrides the last segment of the URL path. If you want to override it. Okay, you don't actually need to. URL management for details. We're going to look at that later. Summary. Text used when providing a summary of the article in the .summary page variable. Okay, so you can do summary, the colon, probably like this, summary, colon, and then your summary here in the page, or on the page rather, if you want to have a summary there. Title, of course, type of the content. This value will be automatically derived from the directory, not specified in the front matter. I don't think we're going to need to specify that. URL, the URL management overrides the entire URL path. No need to override it. Default should work. An array of paths to videos related to page used by the Open Graph internal template to populate OG video. Okay. Internal template. Open Graph internal template. What is an internal template? It's under templates. So we're going to look at this later. They do not observe the partial template lookup word. Hugo ships with a group of boilerplate templates that cover the most common use cases for static websites. Analytics. Okay, discuss. Open Graph. Oh, okay, so it uses Open Graph template. That's what it means. Open Graph protocol, metadata that enables a page to become a rich object in a social graph, used for Facebook and some other sites. I see. So videos, an OG video using Open Graph. Past videos related to videos by the Open Graph. Okay, sure. I'll see what it does when I get to it. YAML is better. Params, description, text about my cool site. Images, site featured image, title, my cool site, taxonomy series. Okay. That's the Hugo setting though. And the front matter here should be YAML. Audio, date, description, images, series, tags, title, videos. Okay, so it's a list of videos, list of tags, list of series, whatever that means. Hugo uses the page type and description for that and description of metadata. The first 6 URLs from the images array are used for image metadata. If page bundles are used and the images array is empty or undefined, images with file names matching feature or cover or thumbnail are used for image metadata. Optional metadata can be set. Use the Open Graph template to, you just use this code. Add Open Graph metadata, include the following line between the head tags in your templates. So you use this in your template. Sure. Weight, used for ordering your content in lists. Lower weight gets higher precedence. Your content with lower weight will come first. If set, weights should be non-zero, as 0 is interpreted as an unset weight. Okay, so 1 is the highest precedence. Thank you. Ordering content in lists. Specific meaning used in Hugo when it comes to rendering your site homepage, section page, taxonomy list, taxonomy terms list. Hugo uses the term list in its truest sense, sequential arrangement of material, especially in alphabetical or numerical order. List templates on any output HTML page where the content is traditionally listed. So here, homepage would probably get a weight of 1, right? Because it will be the first item in your navigation bar, for instance. Interesting stuff. It's just a way to order content. Lists of content in Hugo. List templates. It's under templates. But we're going to see that later. Taxonomies, field name of the plural form of the index. The tags and categories in the above front matter examples. Note that the plural form of user-defined taxonomies cannot be the same as any of the predefined front matter variables. I have no idea what this means. Plural form of the index. So if neither slug nor URL is present, permalinks are not configured. Hugo will use the file name of your content, create the output URL, blah, blah, blah. Tags and categories in the above front matter examples. above front matter examples. YAML categories. Okay, and tags, plugins, Vim, and so on. Yeah, still don't get it. Yeah, what they mean here. Probably will become more clear as I delve more into this documentation. User defined. You can add fields to your front matter arbitrarily to meet your needs. These user-defined key values are placed into a single params variable for use in your template. Okay. The following fields can be accessed via params include TOC and params show comments, respectively. The variables section provides more information on using Hugo's page and site level variables in your templates. Yeah, so you can have user-defined key value pairs like this. So under parameters, I think you need something that says parameters somewhere. Anyway, you can have, oh, see, this is a parameter, right? Cascade. And then you have sub keys here with even more sub keys and then values associated with those keys. Kind, page, language, English, path, something. So you can define key value pairs like this that are custom made and then use those in your template. Don't matter cascade. Let's see. Any node or section can pass down to descendants a set of front matter values as long as defined underneath reserved cascade front matter key. Under cascade, if you have these are going to be passed down to inner child pages, right? They call them descendants. Target specific pages. The cascade block can be a slice with an optional underscore target keyword, allowing for multiple cascade values, targeting different page sets. Okay, kind, page, language, and then, okay, I understand. You target these pages, and then under that, give them the background of yosemite.jpg. If the page type or the kind of descendant is a section, then the background becomes Golden Bridge. Interesting. Path, a glob pattern matching the content path below content. Expect Unix style slashes, that is / I believe, not Windows, which is \. Note that this is the virtual path, so it starts at the mount root. The matching supports double asterisks, so you can match for patterns like that. So asterisks here is a wildcard. Double asterisks, nice. To match anything from the third level down, like that. Cool, cool. Glob. If you want to look at glob, there's a link here. What glob is. Glob.go. Compile once patterns. It's a Go library. Go language library. Okay. Kind, a glob pattern matching the page's kinds, home or section page, etc. Lang, language, environment, build environment, production, development. Any of the above can be omitted. So these are all under cascade, right? So you have target, and then you have under target, you can match with kind of page or kind of descendant. It can be a page, a section, home, etc. You can match by language, you can match by path. Environment, here's an example. In content block underscore index.md, you have a cascade banner images typewriter, which will be passed down all the descendants. With the above example, the block section page and its descendants will return images typewriter when params banner is invoked, unless said descendant has its own banner value set. So the descendant needs to also have this cascade parameter here, or keyword, or was it variable? Variable. And then under banner, set its own banner if it wants its own banner, basically. Or a closer ancestor node has its own cascade banner. So if there are other descendants between the last descendant and the first one, then those can also affect whatever cascades down to the last descendant, basically. Order content through front matter. You can assign content specific weight in the front matter of your content. Okay. These values are especially useful for ordering in list views. You can use weight for ordering of content and the convention of taxonomy weight for ordering content within a taxonomy. Nice. Huh. What is that? Taxonomy. Tags and I know tag. Oh. Categorization that can be used to classify content. So tags and categories are general taxonomies. Example taxonomy, movie website. You can have actors, directors, so these could be your categories, basically. Movie taxonomy organization, actor, Bruce Willis. Values, you have a taxonomy and then you have your term, which is a type of actor, right? So Bruce Willis is a type of taxonomy, the actor taxonomy. Okay, and these values belong to the Bruce Willis term. From the perspective of the content, the relationships would appear differently, although the data and labels used are the same. Unbreakable is a value. Okay, why? Do you have a value there? Actors. So you can have a value that has taxonomies under it. Actors, directors, and stuff. Interesting. Would appear differently, although the data and labels used are the same. Default taxonomies, categories, and tags. Hugo natively supports taxonomies. Without adding a single line to your site configuration, Hugo will automatically create taxonomies for tags and categories. That would be the same as manually configuring your taxonomies as below. So Hugo toml file, which is our configuration file, has these. Does it? Hugo toml, where are you? Not really, since they're default. If you do not want Hugo to create any taxonomies, set disable kinds in your site configuration. Disable kinds taxonomy term. Okay, no, I don't want to do that. We have kinds of home, page, section, taxonomy, and term. Landing page for taxonomy. So these are the kinds of, I guess, pages that you can have. The home page, the page, section page, landing page of a given section, taxonomy page, landing page for a taxonomy, like a category page, and landing page for a category item, right? Let's say you have categories like, I don't know, you have a blog, and you're writing about programming languages. Python is a category there, and term in that case would be Python, I think. No, programming languages would be your category. Okay, I'm lost. Four other page kinds unrelated content are robots.txt, RSS sitemap, and 404. Although primarily for internal use, you can specify the name when disabling one or more page kinds on your site. For example, disable these kinds of pages. Not going to do that. Okay, so that was taxonomies. Order content through front matter or ordering. You can use weights. See ordering, grouping, Hugo list. We'll see that later. Override global markdown configuration. It is possible to set some options for markdown rendering in a contents front matter as an override to the rendering option set in your project configuration. Global markdown rendering. Okay, what is that? directory. Where are you? Markdown rendering. Base URL. Cascade. Default. Content language. Languages, disable languages, markup, configure markup. Maybe that was the thing. Configure build. Okay. I feel like these are for later. Markup, configure markup. You can configure, yeah, default markdown handler. Yes. Handle your own markup somehow. It's possible to set some options for markdown rendering in a content's front matter as an override to the rendering option set in your project configuration. Yeah, but rendering options? Do we have rendering options here? Rendering. Ignore content and data files when rendering. Ignore files. What else? Do we have any other rendering related things? No, that's it. Render. Additional output formats. Hugo server. No. Okay, I have failed to find what they were talking about here. Front matter format specs. TOML, YAML, JSON. You should know these specs, I guess. TOML and YAML, especially. If you're going to use JSON as well. See also archetypes and whatnot. Okay, so that was it for front matter. Next up is going to be build options.